Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out People of Reddit. Story 1. Living large. My Sil is a special case. She's living with us to find herself, I guess. It's been coming to a head lately that she does nothing. Pays no rent, utilities, or food. Does little to nothing by way of being appreciative of us footing her cost of living. Recently, I put my foot down and said this has to end. Tonight, very calmly, I asked her what her plans for moving forward. She shut me down, claiming she doesn't have the mental capacity right now to have this conversation. So, I quietly went to my Wi-Fi and scheduled her some random downtime off my network. She and the wife are not tech-savvy enough to find my modification. I rule this router. Ha! Story 2. Positive petty revenge. Monday nights are a sacred evening for my husband and I. I enjoy an edible and we go to a pottery class, his choice. We start at the local diner before class. We were enjoying a lovely dinner peak diner experience, 7 p.m. eggs Benny and a salad the volume of a soccer ball. 4 Karens at the booth behind us start kicking up a fuss. They don't understand that they ordered 2 house salads at $8 a piece. It's clearly labeled on the menu and the check. They were rude to the staff, the manager, etc. As they were complaining, I went on Yelp, leaving a point-by-point review countering their complaints. They said too expensive. I wrote great value for money, and accurate. They were annoyed the owner said no to them. I wrote owner personally supports staff. Showed the owner and waitress after we paid the check. The ladies may never leave a review, but mine is a great way to support local businesses and made their day. Story 3. Lie and blame my coworker. Let's see the evidence. This story is from the 90s, before work computers were a thing and we kept paper records. Every meeting had minutes recorded. The minutes were photocopied and circulated. Most people didn't keep track of them, but I filed them meticulously in order. I worked for a snack manufacturer. We were developing a new brand of potato chips. The marketer, let's call him Adam, for this project was new, arrogant, dressed in sharp suits, looked down on the engineers, production, and development team, which was not the norm for the company. As we developed the product, Adam was dismissive of our input. He wanted the size of the chip packet changed so it was tall and thin, so our packaging guy, Dave, did the work, mocked up samples which Adam approved. Dave told Adam he needed to show the samples to the sales team. This was all recorded in the minutes. When I received the artwork to check for legal requirements, it looked really similar to a beer brand, same name, same design. I expressed my concerns to Adam, who was responsible for design approval, and was told that was not my job. I made sure my concerns were recorded in detail, and that Adam said they were not of concern. The product got launched and I moved on to the next project until Dave came to see me. He was stressed and explained that the product was being pulled a couple of weeks and he was being blamed. It was being pulled for 2 reasons. The beer company had complained and said it was too close to their name and design. The tall thin packets were too tall to fit on the shelves of our largest retailers, so they refused to stock the chips. If the chips aren't in stores, the customers can't buy them. The cost of developing and pulling a product is huge. Additionally, we had $150,000 of unused packaging from the first print run which would have to be dumped. Dave said he thought he would be sacked because Adam had met with the directors and told them it was all Dave's fault. I pulled out my file of minutes, went to see the marketing director. Gave him copies. The next week Adam was no longer at work and his name was never mentioned again. We relaunched the chips with a marketer who listened to us. Story 4. You want to bully me and insult my family? Okay, hey, race my rebuttal. Flashback to middle school. Shit was not really going great for me. I was depressed as shit, and ended up growing super long and pretty gross hair because of it. Well, I ended up snagging a bully. She was this overweight, really annoying and rude girl, and was constantly flipping my hair into my face or into the air just because she knew it would piss me off. She'd also occasionally tug on it and yank my head to the side, which would hurt my neck. Now in any normal situation I would have punched them in the nose, but since I was a guy and she was a girl, that would have just blown up in my face even worse than normal. Not only that, but she was friends with my friends, so she knew she could do just about anything to me with zero repercussions. Then one day she took this pair of rusty scissors, jammed them into the back of my neck, and closed them. Ended up cutting both my hair and my neck. Last straw. I'm the type of dude that from the outside just quietly deals with getting pushed around, but the moment you piss me off, no matter what reason, I start collecting information about you. So I did some digging, and figured out that she was an adopted child. Her adoptive parents were also very religious. She was also very self-conscious about her massive size. Cool, I'll save that shit for later. Fast forward a few weeks and me and my friends are at a school party, some kind of fundraiser I think. Well, we've been there for a while now and this bitch comes walking over being belligerent like she usually is. I'm just ignoring her, until she insults my family. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was essentially along the lines of your parents are pieces of shit, and that set me off because I love my parents. At least my parents wanted me, unlike yours, you fat pig. I bet the people that adopted you only did it so they could brainwash someone else for their worthless religion. Nobody loves you, and nobody ever will. Silence. She just turned and left, not another word. Never spoke to me again, never bothered me again, until the very end of high school. Just chatting with my friend, and she comes up to talk with him. Looks to me and says, hey, okay _pension _6795. Hey, fat. I ran a scorched earth campaign. I remember the shit you say, I don't forget. You may have, but I didn't. We're not friends. Story 5. Don't ruin live music. My partner and I were at a huge concert venue to watch a gig. We were 2 seats from the aisle, but those 2 seats were occupied by Karen and Mega Karen. We asked to get past to use the bathroom, and because my partner had been to the bar then used the bathroom, they wouldn't let us go past them. In the space between bands, people around us were asking if they'd refused to let us past and were stunned that they were refusing. So here comes the revenge, and it's honestly the pettiest thing I've ever done. Every time one of them went to video the main band, I started singing right next to them at the absolute top of my lungs, but singing really badly. I was bad enough, then the people around us started joining in every time they saw their phones go up. We managed to ruin every single video they tried to take with our horrendous singing. I honestly don't even care that I did it, and they were so petty themselves. They didn't stand up and dance or sing a note all night long, just stayed in their seats so we couldn't pass. Story 6. A lesson to be learned. I dunno if this is really petty enough to be here, but here goes. So I lived with this guy for a few months. The sweetest, most gentle man. But he had a really bad habit. Every morning, when he showered before work, he left his worn boxers on the floor in the bathroom and went to work. I told him numerous times that it was gross, and I wasn't his fucking maid. He apologized every time, but didn't change his way. So one day I really grew tired of it. I grabbed them and put them on his pillow. When we went to bed, he saw the boxers on the pillow and freaked out. Ew, that's so gross. Why did you put them there? I could only say boxers on the bathroom floor equals boxers on your pillow in the future. Oh, and miraculously he never left them on the floor again, lol. Story 7. I got my 6th grade bully fired and his GF to break up with him. When I was in 6th grade, I was being bullied by this boy in my grade, we'll call him Tom. He bullied me every day, especially during PE class. I remember thinking about how I was going to enact my revenge on him one day. Well, fast forward to 10 years later, I am working at a popular lunch spot and my manager asked me about hiring this new guy named Tom. I knew it was him and I gave him a bad recommendation, but that wasn't the end of it, because he still got hired. I found out that Tom had a girlfriend who he was trying to keep a secret. Anyways, one of my co-workers who happened to be the niece of the owner tells me she has a big crush on Tom and that they had sex the other night. I say to her, "That's crazy, did you know about his girlfriend?" To say she was shocked, was an understatement. My coworker immediately asked me for the girlfriend's Facebook information, which I eagerly gave to her. She writes up a beautiful Facebook message to Tom's girlfriend, telling her everything that had happened between them the night before, and then, after that, she goes home and tells the owner about what slimeball Tom truly was. Tom got fired like a week later, and his girlfriend broke up with him. Haha. Story 8. Don't be rude to call center agents. Back when I first started working in IT, my first job was at an internal call center for an IT company. So I was basically answering phone calls all day from employees of the company worldwide for any computer-related issues. If someone called me and was needlessly rude and unhelpful, I would go in their AD account, and change the time before their screensaver turned on and computer locked to be 2 minutes of inactivity, or I would set the settings so their password needs to be changed every 2 weeks. Instead of company standard 3 months. I loved to imagine them calling one of my colleagues with those kind of problems, and sounding absolutely insane. Story 9. My friend and I made my horrible ex think we had slept together. My, now ex, boyfriend, M, and I had broken up about 1 year when this happened. M was a very controlling and manipulative person. For context, my family congratulated me when he and I broke up. Throughout our 2 years together, I got to know one of his friends. JJ never liked M much, but they hung out together because of their mutual friends. About a year after M and I broke up, we went to an anime convention. It's a big convention in the area and everyone I know always goes there. M and J were also going. At the end of the night, there's a party with drinks and music, think clubbing, but for geeks and dweebs. Jay and I were hanging out near the back and M texted Jay to come to the front. Because they started playing Disney music, Jay and I decided to go outside for a smoke instead. M saw us leave while looking for Jay, and texted him, "It kind of bothers me how you and Avian walked off together." Here's where our petty revenge starts. Jay is a more laid-back, taking no BS from anyone kind of person. Because M implied we were leaving something to be together, we decide to mess with him and talk back extremely vaguely. "Are you guys having fun?" "Yeah." "How much fun?" In reality we were just chatting and talking about our lives for a bit, since we hadn't seen each other in a while. I brought up the fact that I had just gotten 2 kittens a few months ago. I showed him a couple of pictures and when he was done melting, he came up with an idea. We decided to text M back that he had seen that puss. This set M off. He went to come look for us and we avoided him like our life depended on it. Because of our mutuals at the convention, we heard from them that he ended up leaving. He took a cab home and accidentally left his wallet in there. We had a great time at the rest of the convention and we did not see him again. Edit. For context, this was back in 2019. I was 22, M was 24 and J was 24. M and I were not on speaking terms. J and I decided to stoop to MS level under the idea of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. J and I are not childish people, but we wanted to show M that he made his bed so now he can lay in it, so we definitely acted back in a petty way. I've not spoken to M at all and most of the friend group has distanced themselves from M, including J, because from what I heard M was taking some of his toxicity out on his friends. J and I are still good friends, we've been drama-free for years and are going back to the same convention in a couple of weeks. Do I feel bad about being so petty? No, I broke up with him after he cheated on me for the last 6 months, and kept manipulating me into thinking it was okay. If anything, he is lucky nothing happened worth of ending up on r/pro revenge. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.